If you're over 60, your heart is doing something surprising after dinner, and one small habit could be quietly pushing it toward danger. But the good news? You don't need medication, intense workouts, or dramatic changes. Just a few gentle shifts after your evening meal could protect your heart and restore your sleep. These moments matter more than you think, and your body's been whispering the signs. Tonight, let's finally listen. Most people focus on morning routines for health, but after 6 p.m., your heart enters a delicate state. Blood thickens, hormones shift, and what you do or don't do after dinner could silently trigger fatigue, chest heaviness, or restless sleep. Rosa, one of my patients, once believed her nighttime heart flutters were just old age. But a few changes changed everything. Let's uncover what's really happening and how you can change the rhythm. 1. Lying down. Too soon after eating for years, Rosa believed her chest discomfort after dinner was just part of aging. By 8 p.m., her body would feel heavy, her breathing shallow. Some nights she'd feel a flutter in her chest that scared her just enough to sit up, but never enough to change the habit. She always reclined on the sofa right after her evening meal. It felt comforting, until her heart said otherwise. Here's what's really happening. When you lie down after eating, especially in your 60s or 70s, your body shifts into an unnatural position for digestion. Instead of gravity helping food move downward, your stomach contents press upward. This slows gastric emptying and increases pressure on your diaphragm. That's why acid reflux becomes more common in the evening. But it's not just about your stomach. Lying flat puts added pressure on the chest cavity, which can irritate the vagus nerve, a key nerve that connects your gut, heart, and lungs. For seniors with high blood pressure, arrhythmia, or even mild heart dysfunction, this subtle pressure can trigger palpitations, shallow breathing, or a racing heartbeat at night. It mimics symptoms of a heart event, even when it's just digestion out of sync. A 2019 study by the American Heart Association found that nighttime heart stress increases by up to 30% in adults over 60 who recline too soon after eating. Why? Because the heart is already compensating for end-of-day shifts in blood volume, cortisol levels, and parasympathetic tone, lying flat tips that balance too far. So, what can you do instead? Try this short protocol. After dinner, stay upright for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Even better, take a slow walk around your living room or hallway. 10 to 15 minutes of gentle movement helps stimulate digestion, reduce blood sugar spikes, and lessen the strain on your heart. If you're feeling tired, sit with back support instead of lying flat. Elevate your legs slightly if needed, but keep your torso vertical. Even a minor adjustment in posture can give your heart and stomach the space they need to do their work gently. Think of your heart like a night shift nurse. It's already doing more with less. Giving it an upright position is like handing it a flashlight and a quiet room. It makes everything more manageable. And here's something beautiful Rosa discovered. When she stopped lying down right after dinner and added a simple walk around her porch, her nighttime bloating vanished. The fluttering in her chest, gone. Her sleep, once broken and shallow, became something healing again. Have you ever noticed strange symptoms after reclining post-meal? A soft walk might be your body's way of asking for kindness. Sometimes healing isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of what quietly hurts us. 2. Eating sugary foods. After dinner. After dinner, Rosa often craved something sweet, a small cookie, a scoop of ice cream. She called it her little reward after a long day. But she didn't know that this habit, so common, so innocent, was silently draining her heart's resilience, one bite at a time. When you eat sugar late in the evening, your body doesn't process it the same way it does during the day. After 7 p.m., your insulin sensitivity declines. Your metabolism slows down. That means sugar lingers in your blood longer, causing elevated glucose levels that stay high well into the night. This leads to an overnight cascade. First, insulin surges to compensate. Then, your body converts excess glucose into fat. That fat is stored near organs, especially the liver and heart. And while you sleep, your blood vessels are quietly inflamed. A 2021 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that consuming high glycemic foods within 2 hours of sleep increased C-reactive protein, and interleukin-6, two markers linked directly to cardiovascular inflammation and endothelial damage. In older adults, these shifts are more intense, and recovery is slower. But there's more. Late-night sugar doesn't just harm your body, it sabotages your sleep. It suppresses melatonin and raises cortisol, the very hormone your heart needs to quiet down. The result? Shallow rest, nighttime palpitations, and a heart that never truly powers down. It becomes a silent trap. Sugar feels like comfort, but it stirs the stress response. Rosa noticed something strange before she changed. She would wake up around 2:30 a.m., heart slightly racing, mouth dry, mind unsettled. It took her weeks to realize it wasn't anxiety. It was dessert. So, what's a safer ritual? Choose low glycemic fruits like berries, kiwi, or half a banana. Pair with a spoonful of almond butter or a warm herbal tea. These foods provide natural sweetness, fiber, and antioxidants without the glucose shock. Here's a protocol you can try. Replace dessert with berries or banana, plus almond butter. No added sugar after 7 p.m. Track your sleep quality for 7 nights. You'll likely notice fewer wake-ups, less bloating, and a calmer heart rhythm as your body resets its nighttime chemistry. Think of it like this. If your body were a home, sugar is like leaving the lights and furnace on overnight. It burns fuel when you're meant to rest. But when you choose slower, gentler foods, you dim the lights, lock the door, and let your heart rest in peace. Have you ever noticed your heart racing or sleep interrupted after dessert? Your heart may be more sensitive than you think, and healing begins when we listen to that whisper before it becomes a cry. 3. Watching the news. Before bed. Every night around 9 p.m., Rosa had a ritual. She would sit down with her tea, flip on the television, and catch up on the world. News headlines, medical updates, local crime reports. It made her feel informed. But by bedtime, her body felt tense, her chest tight. She'd lie awake longer than she wanted. Her heart, it seemed, wasn't winding down with her. There's a reason for that. When we watch stressful or emotionally intense content before bed, our nervous system doesn't register it as fiction or far away. It reacts in real time. Your brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, just as if you were under threat. These stress hormones do several things. Increase heart rate and blood pressure, suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, narrow blood vessels, increase blood clotting potential. The Harvard Circadian Study, 2017, revealed that seniors exposed to evening stress stimuli had significantly higher nighttime blood pressure and delayed heart rate recovery. This means your heart stays on guard long after the TV turns off. And in seniors, where baroreceptors, your pressure sensors, are already less responsive, that extra pressure becomes a nightly strain. You may not feel it all at once, but over time, you'll notice. Waking up tired even after 8 hours, vague pressure in the chest before sleep, restless dreams, or shallow breathing. It's not always anxiety. It's a heart that was never given permission to relax. So, what's the shift? Build a calming pre-sleep ritual. Replace the nightly news with 10 minutes of soft instrumental music, light stretching, or a warm foot soak, a gentle book, non-political, non-medical, or try 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. This change alone can lower your nighttime blood pressure by 10 to 15 points within 2 weeks. It's not dramatic, it's consistent. That's how the heart heals. Rosa didn't want to bury her head in the sand, but once she swapped the headlines for soft piano music, she noticed something unusual. Her breathing slowed, her sleep deepened, and for the first time in years, her heart felt safe. If your mind feels overwhelmed at night, it's not weakness, it's a signal. Have you ever felt more tired after watching the news, or gone to bed tense even when nothing happened? What you feed your mind after dinner can nourish or poison your heart. Choose quiet. Choose peace. You don't have to absorb the whole world before bed. Just come back to yourself. 4. Eating salty snacks at night. It started with a handful of crackers, then maybe some cheese. Rosa didn't think much of it. It was just something light before bed. but her ankles would often feel tight by morning, her blood pressure creeping up. She didn't know that salt could do its worst damage in the quiet of the night. Here's the truth. After age 60, your kidneys don't filter sodium as efficiently, and at night, your body naturally shifts fluid regulation. If you eat salty foods in the evening, you're loading your bloodstream with sodium at the exact moment your heart is preparing to rest. What happens next? Sodium pulls more water into your bloodstream. Blood volume rises, your heart has to pump harder. Blood pressure increases, especially during sleep. And in many cases, fluid begins to accumulate in the legs, ankles, or even lungs. A meta-review by the Mayo Clinic, 2020, found that high sodium intake after 6 p.m. increased the risk of nocturnal hypertension by 38% in older adults. More troubling, the effects lasted into the next morning, even after a full night's sleep. Late-night salt doesn't just dehydrate you, it pressures your blood vessels and stiffens their walls. And in those silent hours when your heart should be slowing down, it's working harder, quietly, invisibly. So, what's the alternative? Try this protocol. No salty snacks after 6:30 p.m. Replace with potassium-rich options, sliced cucumber with parsley, unsalted nuts, or lightly steamed asparagus. Drink a warm mug of mineral water with a dash of lemon 1 hour before sleep. Potassium is your internal balancer. It helps flush excess sodium, relax blood vessels, and stabilize pressure during the night. When you nourish your body with it, your heart can finally exhale. Think of your circulatory system like a quiet river. Salt swells it suddenly, like a dam release. But potassium? It smooths the flow, keeps the banks steady, keeps your heart at peace. Rosa switched from crackers to steamed edamame with a sprinkle of parsley and lemon. Within a week, her morning stiffness eased. Her blood pressure, once unpredictable, found its rhythm again. She didn't need more pills, just fewer habits that quietly hurt her. Have you ever noticed swollen feet or dry mouth in the morning? That handful of chips may not feel like much, but your heart feels every grain. 5. Not drinking water after night. Rosa thought she was doing the right thing. No water after 7 p.m. That way, no late-night bathroom trips. But within weeks, she began waking up groggy. Her heart felt like it was working harder. Her legs would sometimes cramp before dawn. What she didn't know, mild dehydration was quietly thickening her blood. Every single night. As we age, our thirst reflex dulls. You may not feel thirsty, but your body still needs hydration to maintain blood flow, regulate heart rate, and support nighttime detoxification. Without enough water, your blood becomes slightly more viscous, thicker, especially overnight when you're not drinking at all. This increase in blood viscosity raises resistance in your arteries. It forces the heart to pump harder just to move the same volume. For seniors, especially those with plaque buildup or mild atherosclerosis, this can increase the risk of early morning heart strain or even arrhythmias. A study published in European Heart Journal, 2018, showed that adults over 65 who began the night dehydrated had 22% higher risk of early morning cardiovascular incidents compared to those who drank modestly in the evening. So, it's not just about thirst, it's about circulation. There's a sweet spot. Enough water to hydrate, but not enough to disrupt sleep. Here's a gentle protocol. Drink 1 cup, about 200 milliliters, of warm water 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Add a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of Himalayan salt, optional for electrolyte balance. Avoid caffeine or high sugar drinks after 6 p.m. This small amount gives your blood the fluidity it needs without overwhelming your bladder. It supports the kidneys, protects the heart, and stabilizes your heart rate through the night. Think of your blood as a river again. Dehydration makes it slow and heavy. A sip of warm water is like melting ice upstream. It keeps the river smooth, the flow gentle, and the heart at ease. Rosa was hesitant at first, but when she tried it, just 1 warm mug after her walk, her sleep began to shift. The morning grogginess faded. Her energy returned, slowly but noticeably. It wasn't a big move, but it made a big difference. Have you avoided water at night to prevent bathroom trips? Your heart may be thirstier than your bladder. Try giving it 1 last drink, just enough to say, "I'm still with you." 6. Ignoring leg discomfort at night. At first, Rosa thought the coldness in her feet was just the weather. Some nights her calves would feel tight, or she'd have a strange buzzing sensation, almost like her muscles were whispering. She'd wiggle her toes under the blanket and try to ignore it, but what she didn't realize is that her legs were warning her about her heart. Poor circulation in the legs and feet at night isn't just about comfort. It can be a reflection of central vascular stress, especially in older adults. When your peripheral vessels constrict or blood flow slows in the extremities, it often means your heart is struggling to maintain consistent pressure throughout the body. Why does this happen at night? The body enters a restorative state after dark. Blood is redirected toward the core for detox and cellular repair. If circulation is weak, the outer regions, like the legs, don't get enough flow. And the nervous system registers this imbalance as agitation, discomfort, or even restless legs. In fact, research published in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology, 2016, showed that restless leg syndrome in seniors was strongly associated with impaired endothelial function, a key marker of blood vessel health and cardiac risk. But there's hope. The body listens to warmth. Here's a calming protocol. Before bed, soak your feet in warm water with 1 to 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt for 10 minutes. Massage your calves and feet with magnesium oil or unscented lotion. Keep your legs slightly elevated while sleeping. A folded blanket works fine. These simple steps help dilate vessels, relax muscles, and restore the calming tone of the parasympathetic nervous system. It's not just about easing leg tension, it's about signaling to your heart, you can rest now. Think of your legs like the roots of a tree. If they're cold or cramping, it means the sap isn't flowing all the way down. And when the roots are stressed, the whole tree loses stability. After just 1 week of nightly foot soaks and gentle massage, Rosa noticed something beautiful. The buzzing stopped. Her legs no longer begged for attention. And most nights, she fell asleep before she even realized she was tired. Have your feet ever felt cold, tight, or oddly restless at bedtime? Your legs may be asking for what your heart needs too: gentle circulation, steady rhythm, and warmth you can feel. 7. Drinking alcohol to fall asleep. For a while, Rosa ended her evenings with a glass of wine, just one. She said it helped her wind down, and for the first hour it did. She'd feel relaxed, a little sleepy. But by 2 a.m., she was often wide awake, her heart beating just a little too hard, her dreams vivid, her rest incomplete. Here's what many don't realize. Alcohol doesn't deepen sleep. It sedates the brain, but disrupts your heart's rhythm. In the first hour, alcohol suppresses excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate, allowing the nervous system to slow down. But soon after, your body shifts gears to clear the toxin. It releases stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, to process the alcohol through the liver. This internal wake-up call fragments sleep cycles and prevents your body from entering deep, restorative phases. Worse still, alcohol interferes with heart rate variability, HRV, the delicate fluctuation in your heartbeat that signals balance in your autonomic nervous system. A 2016 study from the American College of Cardiology found that just one standard drink before bed reduced HRV by 20 to 28% in adults over 60, significantly impairing the body's overnight recovery and increasing next morning fatigue. And if you're already dealing with high blood pressure, even moderate alcohol can stiffen arteries and elevate nocturnal pressure. So, what's the healing shift? If you're using wine or whiskey as a sleep crutch, try swapping it for a natural sedative that actually supports your heart. Chamomile tea with a cinnamon stick soothes the gut and lowers cortisol. Warm almond milk with nutmeg provides magnesium and tryptophan. Tulsi, holy basil tea, calms the nervous system and protects the liver. Even better, make it sacred. Rosa eventually traded her wine glass for a small ceramic mug and a soft chair by the window. She called it her quiet hour. No screens, just soft light, a warm drink, and deep breathing. Within weeks, she noticed fewer wake-ups and more energy in the morning. Think of alcohol like a candle that burns fast. It gives light, but leaves your room smoky. True rest is more like a slow sunrise, quiet, complete, and nourishing. Do you find yourself reaching for wine to sleep? Maybe your body's asking for calm, not sedation. There's a difference. And when you honor that need, your heart doesn't just rest, it heals. 8. Bottling up, stress before bed. Rosa never thought of herself as anxious. She didn't cry often. She didn't complain. But many nights she'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, worries, decisions she couldn't undo. And while her body was still, her heart wasn't. It kept pulsing under a quiet weight. Many seniors carry emotional weight silently, but bottling up stress, especially in the quiet hours, activates the body's alert system. When you suppress emotions, the sympathetic nervous system stays engaged. Your heart doesn't get the signal that it's safe to rest. Here's what happens. Cortisol remains elevated. Heart rate stays subtly increased. Blood vessels narrow. Your body anticipates action, even as you try to sleep. Over time, this disconnect between emotional suppression and physical stillness creates internal tension. A 2015 study published in Psychosomatic Medicine found that older adults who habitually suppressed emotions had significantly higher nighttime heart rates and increased levels of CRP, a marker of systemic inflammation. It's not just about feeling better, it's about reducing the cardiac load your body carries in silence. So, how do we release gently? Try this reflection ritual. 15 minutes before bed, write down one thing you felt today. Not what you did, what you felt. Let it be unfiltered, no edits, no grammar check. When done, fold the page and place it beside your bed, or tear it, or keep it. The act is the medicine you're signaling to your nervous system. I'm not holding this in anymore. And that, by itself, softens the heart's tone. If writing feels too formal, speak. Whisper aloud. Even one sentence. Rosa began by just saying quietly, I felt overlooked today. No drama, no analysis, just honesty. That night, she fell asleep in under 15 minutes. Think of stress like steam in a kettle. When you don't let it out gently, pressure builds. And the heart? It stands guard, waiting for the release that never comes. Have you ever felt wired at bedtime without knowing why? Try giving your emotions a voice tonight, not to fix them, just to hear them. Your heart will thank you with silence. Your heart has always been there for you, faithfully beating through every meal, every moment of stress, every sleepless night. But as we age, it no longer asks for more. It simply asks for less noise, less strain, less neglect in the quietest hours. We often chase health in big gestures, diets, supplements, medications. Yet the real healing begins in the moments no one talks about. What you do after dinner, how you breathe before bed, what you carry silently into your sleep. These aren't minor choices. They're nightly invitations to repair, to return, to rest. When you honor these small shifts, whether it's skipping the news, soaking your feet, or letting out one unspoken feeling, you're not just caring for your heart, you're rewriting its rhythm. Rosa didn't change everything. She changed what happened after 6 p.m., and that changed everything that followed. So tonight, give your heart what it's been waiting for. Permission to soften, to slow, to feel safe again. Which of these after-dinner habits spoke to you most? I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments below. Your words might help someone else feel seen. If this video brought you clarity, comfort, or just a breath of peace, consider joining our community. We're healing together, one gentle habit at a time.